What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Stock Holiday, right back at you again with the latest and the greatest in these cryptocurrency markets. Do me a quick favor, hit that like button, press that subscribe button. Now let's talk about it. Today, we're just going to keep it real, keep it 100. Are we witnessing the death of cryptocurrency and altcoins as we once known them? So many people are frustrated right now, but we're looking at the markets. The markets haven't quite tanked, even though some of the altcoins look like it's tanked. Bitcoin seems to be holding strong. Cryptocurrency is underperforming. There's no other way to cut it. There's no other way to slice it but to slice it like that and to tell it for what it is, to call it for what it is. Yes, I'm still in bullish mode, but when you take a look at these altcoins are underperforming. Cryptocurrency is underperforming. Is Bitcoin doing well? Bitcoin is doing well, strong and alive. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that we're all noticing. We're all noticing it. Sometimes they call it the elephant in the room. But you take a look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is $110,000. We see it start to pump. We get a little bit of excitement. It goes to 111. Then boom, we see a red candle. It's just drop it right back down to 110, 109. Bitcoin dominance still strong. Like we've been saying over the past couple of weeks, Bitcoin dominance 59% range, 59.26. Free and Great Index is still low. We're at 32. Still so much uncertainty in the market. Yeah, we got through October. Shouts out to November. Hopefully November can do us better justice than October did. Hopefully November can solidify that, you know what, quarter four in cryptocurrency is typically bullish. We are waiting to see a quarter four pump. October kind of dealt us a dud, even though we saw the FOMC interest rate cuts. So that right there just goes to show that it takes a lot more than just the interest rate cut and some of the other things that we were holding on to, expecting to see some pumps. So is it a market collapse? Or is it just a slow, stretched out cycle? Did the market collapse? Did the 4-year cycle tank? Or has this cycle just been stretched out? The 4-year cycle, as we once known it, has it changed? We know this is only the 4th cycle, so just because we went through the first 3 does not mean that, this cycle has not evolved, it has not changed. Things change. We change. As we grow older, our body change. As we grow older, lose weight, gain weight, things change. So did the cycle change? These are some of the things that we are discussing. Is the cycle stretched out? They say, man, if it don't pop by the end of December 2025, if it don't pop by January 2026, that means that it's over. It's a few different things to place on that. It's a few different ways to take a look at that. Just when we think we're the smartest in the room, we got it all figured out, ain't nowhere in the world it could go past January 2026. Says who? Who are we to declare that? It is very tough. We thought we were the ones that was going to declare quarter four 2025. And look what happened. So who are we to declare that quarter four 2025 is supposed to and going to pump? Just because we looked at the previous cycles, we looked at the charts and the trends, that's what it told us. But just because it told us that does not mean that that is the way that things will transpire. So it's just a few different things that I am contemplating when I'm doing my brainstorms. There's a lot of things that is going through my mind. Let me go ahead and get this out the way. This is not financial advice. Anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell any crypto. This video is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. Before investing into anything, please consult with a professional financial advisor. So I've been taking a look at things. I'm saying, you know what? Is this just a quiet storm? The stuff that we're going through, it may feel like a storm, but it's not quite a super storm because it is not super doom and gloom. So is this just the calm before the positive storm? We still could see exponential gains. We could still see explosive pumps. It don't feel like it because the market sentiment is low, very down. Fear and Greed Index 32, 31, 33. So panic mode is sky high. Everybody's on pins and needles. Everybody's sitting on the edge of their bed waiting for what is to come and happen next. So it don't feel like we're going to see a major pump. But once we remove our feelings, the possibilities are there. We have to be careful with our emotions and our feelings. A lot of the times, our feelings will overrule our decisions. What can happen in November? What can happen in December? We could still see parabolic pumps. Just when you think that it's not going to happen, typically is when it happens. And vice versa. When you think it's going to happen, it is not going to happen. This is cryptocurrency. We're talking about wacky world of cryptocurrency. We've seen it before. I don't know how long you've been in cryptocurrency, but my entire time that I've been in cryptocurrency, it has always been wacky. As soon as you expect something, boom, the opposite occurs. So that is something that we're paying attention to. Is this just a quiet before the parabolic storm? When things start to pump, when things start to really get cooking, Q4 is what we're waiting on. We're here, got through the month of October, a little bit dry, but nevertheless, Q4 is not over. Or is this just a dying bull market? Is the bull market just dying and we're just witnessing the bull market die? The depth of crypto, um, the underperformance of crypto. So many things to describe what we are experiencing. Seeing these altcoins fall off one by one. Seeing the expectations get debunked one by one. Oh, we're expecting XRP to get to $20, $15, $10. Getting debunked so far one by one. Expecting Ethereum $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Getting debunked one by one. But it is not quite over. Cryptocurrency, when things start to pump, can happen very fast. We talked about a month ago when it was during the Friday night flash crash when we saw cryptocurrency Bitcoin go from 124, 123 all the way down to 103. We saw Bitcoin drop $20,000 in one day. I said, you know what? It's all good because the same thing make you laugh can make you cry. The same thing make you cry can make you laugh. There were a lot of folks crying that night. Flash crash Friday was nasty. February 1st, bloodbath day was nasty. But the same thing make you cry can make you laugh. Just like that, we saw $20,000 dip in Bitcoin. We can see the opposite. We can see Bitcoin run up $10, $15, $20,000 in one day. Do not get it twisted. Do not underestimate the power and volatility of Bitcoin. Yes, volatile. Yes, for sure. But when it's volatile to the downside, it's also volatile to the upside. So you always got to keep the cup half full. It could be half empty or it could be half full. So either way, the same thing could happen. We go down 20, we could go up 20. So we already went down 20. Now we are expecting the pumps. We want to see the $5,000 in one day, the $10,000 pumps in one day. Show us a $20,000 green candle in one day. That is what we are wanting to see. So we also know that a lot of liquidity has been sucked out of the market. There's been a lot of liquidity sucked out of the market this cycle. Where did the liquidity go to? The liquidity went to being spread out amongst so many coins. The market is so saturated. There's so many altcoins out there. At the click of a button, anybody can create an altcoin. Last cycle, it wasn't like that. It took some seriousness to create an altcoin. You really had to have some things established. But right now, some of the applications that they have, anybody can create an altcoin. So a lot of liquidity has went there. Some of those altcoins are $100 million projects, $50 million projects, $300 million projects. So that's where a lot of the liquidity went to. Nobody expected that. Nobody expected these new coins to have supermassive market caps like they've had. So that is where a lot of the liquidity went to. Some of the liquidity left. Some people said, you know what? I'm done with cryptocurrency. Seeing too much manipulation. Don't like the direction that it's going. So let me go ahead and exit. A lot of the liquidity has left the market. And also the retail investors that we were expecting, we might not see it. Well, it's definitely not going to be on the scale or the scope that we've seen it in prior cycles. So combination of all those things is a direct result of the liquidity that has been sucked out of this cycle. Um, we also got investments being rotated out of cryptocurrency. A lot of people are investing in artificial intelligence right now. A lot of people are putting their money in Amazon, Nvidia, Apple stock market. A lot of people are buying gold and silver right now. Investments are being rotated. So cryptocurrency is kind of the last option because it's the most volatile. People like stability. It's only us wild folks like you and me that like cryptocurrency, that like to live on the edge. So we can handle the volatility. Even though sometimes we get a little bit of a headache, we get a stomach ache, we get ticked off, but this is what we like, because if we didn't like it, we would not be in it. So that's why I say it takes a special kind of person to even be involved in cryptocurrency. And you are that special kind of person. So, but because we understand both sides, we understand that, okay, yes, a possibility things can go in a nasty direction, but typically through time, through patience, we see our portfolio make exponential gains, and that is what we are sitting around waiting for. So does that mean that the cycle is over? Now that is the question of the day. The depth of cryptocurrency, does that mean that the cycle is over? Is a very real question. I got flies floating around. My birds are not coming to hang out with me today. So what is going on? So, but the cycle, is the cycle over? The cycle as we once known it is probably over. The depth of crypto is not dead. Is it dying? Parts of it is dying, but that's part of the change. Whenever you see something start to change, that means some things are falling off. Like you may see a tree, see the leaves falling off. Well, hey, this part is no longer relevant. Now we have some new parts that will be growing. So that is kind of what we are seeing. But is the cycle over? It's not over. Has the cycle changed? Yeah, the cycle has definitely changed because things within the cycle has changed. Now we got large institutions within the cycle, so that's changed. So that's why the cycle has changed. And also, one of the key things and one of the main things that I have been having to come to realization with is that the forces that drive cryptocurrency used to be the 4-year halving, used to be the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving used to be the force that push and drive cryptocurrency, used to be the force that push and drive Bitcoin. Now that is no longer the case. It is no longer the only force that is pushing Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins. Bitcoin happened, we was waiting on it last year. We said, you know what? Every 4 years. So that was the force that was pushing the cryptocurrency cycle. That was the force that was pushing the Bitcoin cycle. But that is no longer the case. It is not the sole force anymore. Now we have a lot more movement in cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin. Once the Bitcoin ETF got approved, all bets were off. We didn't know that. We didn't know what to expect. We thought it was a good thing, and it probably is a good thing, but we had no idea that it was going to change the stratosphere so much. We had no idea that the spectrum was going to be changed in such a drastic fashion. What we've seen those guys take the 4-year cycle and crumble it, twist it, turn it. So the Bitcoin halving is no longer the sole force that pushes the 4-year cycle. So that right there is why the cycle has changed. Now we got the large institutions, we got the banks, investment companies, billionaires, millionaires. These guys are riding the wave, taking Bitcoin, twisting it here, when normally it wouldn't get twisted, turning it here when normally it wouldn't get turned. So yes, things has changed because the 4-year cycle or the cycle of Bitcoin has changed. The Bitcoin halving, the 4-year Bitcoin halving, it's still a real thing. But as far as the overall flow of the cycle, it's a thing of the past. So what are we doing? We are still going to play this cycle out, expecting some pumps. Some of the coins I've been taking a look at, we've been seeing some little pumps here and there, but over the past few months, we see a few pumps here and there, and then 2 or 3 days later or a week later, it gets snatched away from us. So I'm like, wait a minute. This is not how it was dialed up. This is not how last cycle went. So we got to kind of stop saying this is not like how last cycle went or the cycle before that, because this cycle has changed. If we don't get a pump in Q4, then oh well, because this cycle is not like the previous cycles, as we can see. Still got my position set and holding, fingers crossed, locked in, 10 toes down, still trusting the process, whatever that is. Still hoping that we can see a Q4 pump, hoping that we can see a Santa Claus rally. And I'm also keeping in mind that, you know what? When the markets get down, when the markets get out, people are always quick to talk bad about it. People are always quick to say the cycle is over. And then a week, 10 days later, the market can flip. Things could be green. Bitcoin could be up $8,000-$10,000 in one day, and everybody will be bullish. So you have to be careful of people really showing their hands and letting their emotions pour out on you, causing you to make irrational decisions. We are far from over. Just because the markets have been kind of down over the past few weeks don't mean that the next week can't be bullish. The week after that can't be bullish. But we only need a 2-week, 3-week, 4-week window, and we could see life-changing gains. It don't take long in cryptocurrency, but you have to have the patience. You have to have the wherewithal to kind of know which coins to get into. All of our coins are not going to make it to the promised land. There's too many coins. Don't get married to any play at any particular time. You can say, you know what, let me go ahead and pivot out of this play and jump into XYZ play. Solana ETF is a real thing. Adera ETF is a real thing. Yeah, it hasn't had a huge pump yet, but remember when the Bitcoin ETF was approved, it did not have an instant pump. But a couple of weeks after that, we saw the effect of the Bitcoin ETF. So in a couple of weeks, we could see Solana $300. We could see Adera 50 cents. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Wish I would have bought it when I first heard of the ETF news. Wish I would have bought Adera when it was 15 cents. Wish I would have bought Solana when it was at its low point. So you kind of want to be proactive. You want to make decisions before things get to the parabolic levels, before the Fear and Greed Index get to 65, before the Fear and Greed Index get to 70. This is where the real work starts. The real work starts when the Fear and Greed Index is in fear. When the Fear and Greed Index is at 28, 30, 32. That's where the real work starts. After that, you just kick back, cross your arms, kick your legs up, sit in your backyard, and let your portfolio do what it do. Because we know you go from fear, then you go neutral, greed to extreme greed. So we just kicking back, waiting for the different indicators to get hit, waiting for the market to take its course. Hopefully we do see a huge pump. Hopefully Q4 becomes official. So you know what? We got through October. We didn't think Q4 was going to explode. October shook out a lot of weak hands. A lot of folks tapped out. They said, damn, well, if October didn't pump, it's supposed to be Pumptober. I'm done. Let me go ahead and pivot and buy some gold. It's at an all-time high. So you're going to buy high, huh? Emotional investors equals getting wrecked. Let me go ahead and sell this play. Let me sell it while it's low. Let me buy this other play that's very high. Let me buy it while it's pumping because I didn't buy it while it was low. Very, very difficult to place your finger on what is going on, but there are some different things moving. You have to be aware. You have to do your own due diligence. As the CEO of your own portfolio, you have to make the decisions what, when, where to buy, what, when, where to sell, etc. Because we know the only way for you to make profit is to sell. Only way for you to make money, you're going to have to sell. So we're holding on strong, waiting for those points to where we will be taking profits. We will be selling as the profits start to come in, as the quarter four pumps start to occur. We will be making decisions, especially over there in the Patreon. I'll be letting you guys knowing what I'm doing, when I'm doing, and why I am doing said moves. So come on over there, join us in the Patreon. We would love to see you over there. We have a great and awesome cryptocurrency community. But like I said, I just continue to come to you guys every day, just to continue to give you a little bit of encouragement. Coming to you guys every day to give you that good motivation. And that's all I got for you on this one. It's your boy, Stock Holiday.